Are we safe from quantum viruses? So I want to introduce the concept of a quantum virus. Imagine we have a cat, Schrodinger's cat, but this is not a cat that's trapped inside a box. It's a cat, very elegant cat, that has a diamond necklace, and inside of this diamond necklace is a qubit. So this qubit is in a superposition of two states, and those two states are represented by this column vector here. Alpha sub c and beta sub c, these are complex numbers that when you square them give you the probability that the cat will die from the quantum virus. So the cat is walking around, and this wave function has not collapsed. So the cat in some sense is really the future cat is in a superposition of a dead and alive state. So as long as this is not measured, then basically we don't know whether the cat's going to die or not. So this is what I mean by a quantum virus. The cat is afflicted with this qubit, which is connected to whether the cat will live or die. So don't worry, this is not a real cat. So the point is that if alpha were equal to 1 and beta were equal to 0, then we know for sure that the cat's going to die. And if alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to 1, then we're pretty sure that this cat is going to survive. And so if, let's say, they're both equal to 1 over the square root of 2, then when you square that, you get a 50% probability that the cat will die or survive, and you don't know until you do the measurement. Okay, so now I want to introduce two individual cats. One of them is Abigail. So Abigail has the quantum virus, so this is the wave function for the virus, and this part here represents the where Abigail is, and these can also be time dependent. And so now I want to introduce another cat. I honestly think Buttons is cuter, but I'll leave that to you to dispute. So Buttons we know is actually virus free. So in the sense, well, Button has the ability to get infected, but currently Buttons is not infected. So now I want to think about a scenario where we're going to essentially track Abigail and Buttons. So we assume that they're classical. They're the cat part of them can be tracked, and we're going to have Abigail over here, and Buttons is over there. So we just think about like a one-dimensional cat, two cats, and so Abigail again is afflicted with this the quantum virus, and then Buttons is well. So the question really is now, as the laws, we know that Abigail and Buttons are both subject to the laws of quantum physics. We assume that everything is essentially quantum. So we know that at some future time, Abigail and Buttons will also have wave functions. Now, what I want to ask is whether it's possible for Buttons to become infected, maybe by running into Abigail and maybe like arching their back one against the other, or whatever it is that they do. They do the opposite of social distancing, and the question is, can Abigail transmit this quantum virus to Buttons? So is it possible? So it turns out that it's not possible according to the laws of quantum mechanics. This is forbidden. So I'm going to leave you in suspense as to why that's the case, and I'll talk more about this next week. But really, this is a feel-good story that Buttons is really. Although I feel bad for Abigail, Abigail is unable to transmit this state to Buttons. So that's